Hello everyone and welcome to Demo Day for Scaling Impact, our accelerator program that helps social enterprises and purpose-driven startups grow their business and prepare for future impact investment. I would like to start by acknowledging that we are hosting this virtual event from traditional lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend this respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples joining us this afternoon. We are thrilled that so many of you have tuned in. It would be great to get a sense of where everyone is. In the chat, please say hello and let us know from which city and what traditional lands you're joining us. My name is Jessica Roth and I'm the founder and director of the Social Impact Hub. Through our 4 pillars of advice, education, ecosystem building and mobilising capital for impact, we help create a world where people and the planet thrive together. This is the second cohort of our Scaling Impact program, a program which aims to help Australian social enterprises scale and potentially take their solutions to a global market. I would like to thank the fabulous Scaling Impact team, led by Kate Saunders, with Jay Bulkin as our Enterprise Development Manager and Jess Liang as our fabulous Program Coordinator in support. Thank you for your exceptional work ethic and your commitment to the success of the program and the enterprises in our second cohort. Scaling Impact would not have been possible without generous funding from the Australian Government through the Incubator Support Initiative, the Sidney Myer Fund, EY, as well as our philanthropic partners for various projects, the English Family Foundation and the Yarranabbe Foundation. We would also like to thank our collaborators and the numerous stakeholder groups who have supported the initiative and underscored the importance of building the pipeline of investable social enterprises. You can hopefully see them all on the screen now. Thank you.
The ultimate goal of the Scaling Impact program is to grow the pipeline of investment-ready social enterprises in Australia. And we're pleased to report that since our last program, the winner of the Tanarra Best Pitch Award from last year's Demo Day, Umbo, has secured impact investment from an investor that they met on Demo Day. We've also successfully secured impact investment ready growth grants for both My Care Space and Dismantle, and we're working with them to raise impact investment capital. EY has been a fabulous supporter of the program, hosting a series of bespoke masterclasses and providing tailored advisory and one-on-one mentoring to the enterprises. I'd now like to invite CEO for EY Oceania, David LaRocca, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David LaRocca, EY CEO and Regional Managing Partner for Oceania. Firstly, thank you to the 8 enterprises in the Scaling Impact 2021 cohort for their passion, energy and commitment to making a difference in our communities. EY is an organisation with a long history of working with entrepreneurs and helping them grow their businesses, so we're proud to be a supporter of the Scaling Impact Accelerator program. It's another way we're able to deliver on our purpose of building a better working world and our ambition to create long-term value for EY clients, people and society. More than 60 EY people have been involved since May, from senior partners through to graduates from across the breadth of our business around Australia. They've shared their knowledge and expertise on a range of business topics and provided tailored advice to help these purpose-driven entrepreneurs grow their businesses and scale the positive impact they have in society. Equally, the experience for our EY people has been inspiring, energising and rewarding, being able to use their knowledge, skills and experience to support these innovative change makers. I hope you're looking forward to hearing from this exciting group of entrepreneurs as much as we are.
Thank you, David. We are truly appreciative of the support EY has provided in the program. I would now like to hand over to Brad Twynham from the Department of Industry, Innovation and Science to say a few words.
I want to thank the Social Impact Hub for inviting me back again this year just to say a few words on behalf of the Incubator Support Program. The Incubator Support Program, as part of the Entrepreneurs Program, since 2016 has funded 180 projects across the country in excess of $27 million. The Social Impact Hub does tremendous work in the vital sector of social entrepreneurship. This sector now makes up one of the fastest growing sectors in Australia. I can't wait to see what this year's cohort has installed for you. I know how hard they have worked to take feedback, to pivot their ideas, to move in different directions. Being an entrepreneur is a difficult path. And I know that every one of these startups are going to give it their all for you tonight. And to the cohort, I truly hope you get everything you desire out of this evening.
Thank you, Brad. We're grateful for the funding provided by the government through the Incubator Support Initiative. Our 8 enterprises this year were selected from a highly competitive pool of applications from across Australia. We were really impressed with the quality and quantity of applications that we received for the program, especially during a pandemic.
A massive congratulations to all 8 enterprises selected. Your passion for what you're building is inspiring, and your ongoing support for one another has been wonderful to watch. It has been a joy supporting you on your impact investment journey, and we're honoured to have worked with you as part of the Scaling Impact program.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the program was conducted entirely virtually and included a series of masterclasses, tailored advisory support, and mentoring. The enterprises selected have been challenged by the most seasoned coaches, serial social entrepreneurs, top VCs, and industry professionals, and they have taken major steps towards preparing for impact investment. Now it is time to see the results.
Before we jump into the pictures, we believe it is important to flag the significant impact COVID-19 has had on some of the enterprises in the program and their impact investment readiness journey. We would like to acknowledge the resilience and dedication to the program shown by all the founders, despite the additional and unexpected challenges that many of them faced due to the lengthy lockdowns over recent months.
So that's enough from us. It's time to sit back, relax, and get inspired.
Grow Your Mind provides engaging, evidence-based, positive mental health strategies for children, school and families. Christina and the team have been outstanding in their clarity of purpose and their vision to improve the mental health of young people. I found her work amazingly inspiring and have enjoyed helping understand how her business can grow.
This is Joy Lara. She was 6 years old when I met her. I was a teacher in a beautiful inner Sydney school. The kids were fantastic, but many struggled with emotional regulation. They were quick to give up on a task when it was tricky, and they fought with friends in unhelpful ways. Next door was another school with relative financial stability, and the kids also struggled with everyday problems and to be resilient. Joy Lara, like her classmates, was no stranger to adversity, and yet she lived up to her name. She was joyful in just about everything she did. She was quick to be kind, quick to be helpful. She acknowledged the strengths in others, and she had an awareness of the good things in her life. Joy Lara was displaying qualities that the research shows us builds resilience. And the fantastic news is that we can all learn these skills. We can all learn to take care of our mental health, and we can be explicitly taught ways to flourish. But here's the thing, when I started to actually teach wellbeing, the kids were not as excited about it as I was. There were plenty of fantastic wellbeing programs, and yet I could not get the students to engage with it in an authentic and meaningful way. Until I realised there was a very important missing piece, and they were 2 things: stories and the brain. I watched in awe as overnight the kids' engagement completely transformed. Their eyes lit up whether they were 5 years old or 12. I'm Alice, and this is what inspired me to create Grow Your Mind with Christina.
Our business is very personal to me. I'm a mother of 2 young children, and my eldest started to struggle emotionally from a young age. And she's far from alone. 1 in 7 children aged 4 to 17 suffer a mental health issue, and 50% of adult mental health conditions have begun by the age of 14. Educators are often the ones tasked with helping our children build these social and emotional skills. However, they are at greater risk of mental health issues than the average person. The last 18 months have revealed to many of us just how much our educators are required to do. But how can we expect them to build these positive mental health skills for our children if they don't have the language for it themselves? At Grow Your Mind, we've taken what can often be dry and complex wellbeing topics and made them digestible and relevant for primary school students, families and educators. What makes us stand out? We'd like Wallara Public School Principal Nicole Malloy to tell you about that.
The resources are amazing. They are playful. They draw. The kids are drawn to them. The teachers are drawn to them. We've had so much fun making displays in our classrooms, developing programs. We've even made our own Grow Your Mind animals that are in each classroom to really bring it alive in the school. And that means our kids now talk about the aspects of their brain and have a real sense of brain awareness that I don't think 5 to 12-year-olds would have had even a couple of years ago. And Grow Your Mind's really helped us to do that. I think in terms of our teachers and their professional learning, it's really given us quality professional learning that helps our teachers plan lessons to explicitly teach wellbeing in a purposeful way, in a way that links with our personal development, health and PE programs and our syllabus documents that come from the department. It really aligns very nicely with that.
Grow Your Mind is fast becoming seen as a content leader and innovator in this space, and is one of a small number of programs recognised by Beyond Blue's BU directory. Our Digital for Teachers subscription, which has been made by teachers for teachers, was launched in 2020 and is currently being used by over 70 schools around Australia and enjoys a 90% renewal rate.
We have reached over 13,000 educators, 100,000 students and 6,000 families. We know we're having an impact, with 95% of students feeling more confident to look after their mental health since using Grow Your Mind. And our podcast has been listened to in 90 countries.
Since pivoting our business model in January 2020 to focus on our digital offerings, our revenues have grown from $100,000 in financial year 2020 to $271,000 in 2021, and we expect to achieve over $500,000 in 2022. We're excited to recently have formed a partnership with the very successful team at Maths Pathways, which will enable us to accelerate our growth in Australia initially, but also potentially overseas where we already have had interest.
We are a passionate and talented team with extensive experience across health, education, e-commerce and business development. And we have a great support behind us of occupational therapists, educators, principals, psychologists and a neuroscientist.
To meet increasing demand and fast-track our growth, we are looking to raise $650,000 to 1, grow our team, 2, develop new and innovative content, and 3, automate our operations so we can scale effectively in Australia and then overseas. This funding will allow us to reach 750 schools around Australia using the Grow Your Mind program and train over 26,000 educators. This will generate over $5 million worth of revenue domestically and enable us to begin expansion internationally. If you are passionate about mental health and wellbeing and want to help us supercharge the impact we're already having, we ask you to contribute to this next exciting stage of growth. We all have mental health and we can all learn ways to look after it. So join us to nurture lifelong, curious, resilient learners like Wallara.
It's my great pleasure to introduce Lois Dillon, who heads up Mates on the Move. Mates on the Move wants to ensure that everyone is given a genuine second chance, and their social enterprise employs formerly incarcerated people to provide quality waste collection and recycling services in Sydney. It's been truly inspiring to work alongside Lois and the team during their time in the Scaling Impact program, and I can't wait to see what's next for them.
I used to think, once a crim, always a crim. But I contradict that, I'm not a crim anymore. I don't want to be a crim. I've got no desire to go back to my old life.
Meet Bill, who was released from prison after doing time for armed robbery. He grew up with the idea that you weren't a man till you went to prison. Childhood was hard for Bill. All he knew was crime, leading to many bouts of imprisonment in his adult life. My name is Lois. I'm the operations manager at Mates on the Move. After working in the prison system for 3 years and seeing many familiar faces returning to prison, I knew there needed to be an intervention program to stop this happening. Just over 13,000 people are currently serving time in New South Wales prisons. Over 50% of these people will re-offend within 2 years of release. According to people returning to prison, lack of employment, housing and overall support on their release contributed to their return. To solve this, Mates on the Move provides training and employment opportunities for people leaving prison through our sustainable waste management service. This solves an additional problem that large quantities of coffee cups, paper towels and polystyrene are ending up in landfill each year unnecessarily. We collect and divert problem waste streams away from landfill, such as coffee cups and paper towels. Waste streams from large corporates in Sydney's CBD, which are too problematic for large waste companies to separate. Without our unique service, this waste would end up in landfill. Mates on the Move is a social enterprise of Prisoners Aid Association of New South Wales. Since starting business in 2016, we have generated $725,000 of revenue, and we differentiate ourselves from our competition with our strong strategic alliances with waste companies. We have only touched the surface of the demand from our large loyal corporates such as Mirvac, Lendlease, Investor, AMP and others, and we have continued to add new buildings steadily. These corporate customers can add to the circular economy by ticking social procurement goals and sustainability targets while using a professional service. We have impacted close to 65 lives, paid $377,000 in wages, which equates to 13,000 paid hours to workers released from prison. But that's not all. We've also diverted 445 tonnes of coffee cups and paper towels away from landfill and recycled over 13 tonnes of polystyrene. Our goal is to give more people like Bill the opportunity to get their lives back on track. We have ambitious growth plans to scale our operations by growing the number of waste companies we work with, increasing our corporate customer base, as well as adding to the number of buildings that we service. I have 6 years' experience working with prisoners, and as a former welfare worker and now a Mate on the Move, I deeply understand the needs of those that we are supporting. And I have demonstrated success in growing our waste management business. I am well supported by the board of Prisoners Aid Association of New South Wales, including our chair, Tim Laporte. We are likely to raise impact investment capital in 2022 to achieve our growth plans and continue to expand our fleet of trucks, infrastructure and staff numbers in order to scale our impact. In the meantime, we are looking for introductions to corporates and waste industry players, and welcome the support towards a new warehouse and office, as well as philanthropic funding to support our training programs. Our training programs and the jobs we provide ultimately lead to a lower level of returns to jail, which is our key mission. After being part of Mates on the Move, Bill was able to go on and work with us, even becoming our supervisor. He has been able to move from his boarding house into a family home, and more importantly for Bill, he has bought his dream car and got his life back on track. As Bill once said, since completing Mates on the Move, he feels empowered with no desire to go back to his old life. He feels part of society again by having a job and going to work each day. Can you provide the opportunity for someone like Bill? We would love to engage with you further and involve you in the next stage of our journey.
It's with great pleasure that I introduce Kim Hunter from Champion Life. Kim's been such an inspiration to me, and I've learned so much from her throughout this process of mentoring as much as I'm sure she has from me. And I'm so excited about the organisation that she's leading and the application that it has to so many different industries.
Hi, I'm Kim Hunter and I'm the founder and managing director of Champion Life. I was lucky enough to grow up in a family that valued physical activity, wellbeing and lifelong learning, and I was empowered to pass those values on to my own 4 kids. When I looked up from my privilege, it became obvious that not everyone had that same opportunity, and I wanted to do something to change that on a large scale. I started with a specific problem: to get kids moving more often and to teach them to value their health and wellbeing. 2 other cohorts are also in need of physical activity and wellbeing interventions: seniors and people with disabilities. In-person interventions for these groups are expensive and difficult to access, making it harder for them to engage in the regular physical activity that is necessary to build positive habits over time. In addition, COVID has highlighted the need for community-focused organisations to innovate and increase their impact by delivering programs online, but available solutions aren't tailored to their specific needs. Champion Life is a video learning and outcomes measurement platform delivering wellbeing and education interventions to populations in need. Easy to implement, it combines movement and learning, mentoring and monitoring to deliver content to students, seniors and people with disabilities, as well as for large community-focused organisations. Learning and activities are delivered through guided videos which are delivered by relatable role models. These are wrapped in comprehensive wellbeing and engagement monitoring system to deliver actionable insights to all user groups. We have 2 channels to market. The first is Champion Life Active, our ready-to-go online physical activity programs, which we sell on a yearly subscription basis to schools, aged care and disability service organisations. The second is Champion Life Learning, where we offer co-design, white labelling and delivery services for large organisations pivoting to online delivery. We charge an upfront development fee and then ongoing delivery fees. Given our revenue model is largely subscription-based recurring revenues, we believe we can achieve substantial margin uplift as we scale our business. In just a few years, we've gone from an idea to a platform that supports over 40,000 end users across a number of sectors. We generated over $600,000 in revenue last financial year to reach break even, and our business is expected to generate $1.2 million in revenue the current financial year. We have secured national and state grants and awards that confirm our value proposition and support our growth. Our recent grant through Health and Wellbeing Queensland will form the foundation of our expansion into aged care. We've also been invited to apply for the second round of the Accelerating Commercialisation grant available to us. Our ready-to-go physical activity programs solve real problems for our users. Teachers are easily able to deliver valuable brain breaks and monitor student wellbeing. Students benefit from increased physical activity each day. At the other end of the age spectrum, our residential aged care program, currently in development, will support care workers to deliver daily mobility activities to residents. Champion Life Learning allows us to scale the impact of other community-focused organisations so they can reach more people without compromising quality or human connection. Our customers include a national disability services provider, where our platform is delivering life skills to people with an intellectual disability. We also support kids in regional New South Wales to keep connections with camp leaders throughout the year, and through the Ripple movement, we support improved resilience and wellbeing in low socioeconomic schools. There is a growing market for our flexible and scalable platform as we move into a post-COVID world of increased social need as well as demand for online solutions. Our unique products and proven outcomes are hard to copy. Our competitors generally focus on one segment, whereas our flexible platform allows us to easily deliver scalable interventions that embed positive new habits across a number of in-need sectors. We are currently a small but effective team. I have strong management, operations and business development skills, and Jessie and Sky are highly skilled developers who continue to adapt our platform to meet evolving needs. Our lead investor, Brendan, is also my mentor and an important supporter of the business. Our goal is to impact 350,000 users by 2025. This will mean onboarding 500 schools, 300 residential aged care homes, 3,000 individual NDIS users, and expanding our Champion Life Learning customers from 3 to 10. To do this, we are raising at least $1.5 million from strategic investors in the next 12 months. This will allow us to invest in creating additional content, grow our marketing team, and further invest in our technology. Please join us on our journey to help us achieve our ambitions and make a lifelong positive impact on children, the elderly, and people with disabilities.
Hi there, my name is Emma Poole from EY, and I've had the pleasure of working with Zoe Clonliffe and the team at She's a Crowd for the last couple of months, working on their outcomes measurement capability. So She's a Crowd is a startup which uses technology to collect and capture women's experiences, the key aim being to close the data gap which currently exists for incidences of gender-based violence in Australia. Working with Zoe and the team over the last few months has been such a pleasure. Their innovative approach to gender-based violence and the compassionate and inclusive manner in which they operate is clear to anyone that has the privilege of working with them.
Hi, my name's Zoe Conliffe and I'm the founder and CEO of She's a Crowd. And I'm going to start by telling you a story. So the other day I was out riding my bike and enjoying the beautiful weather when I heard a car slowing down behind me. I turned around and I saw a group of men winding down their window. "Hey sexy, where are you going? Give us a smile." I ignored them, but they followed me all the way home. This experience left me feeling powerless, isolated, and angry. But it's not at all an uncommon one. 9 in 10 Australian women have experienced street harassment and have had to modify their behaviour as a direct result of that. And yet we know that around 90% of sexual assault is never reported to the authorities. This means that decision makers can't access the data that they need to understand the problem. And if you can't understand a problem, you can't fix it. But She's a Crowd is changing that, using something that we love to do: share our stories. Since 2018, our safe and anonymous crowdsourcing platform has allowed anyone, anywhere in the world to share their story. Each story is geotagged and time-stamped and aggregated for important insights which we provide to our customers. For example, we've worked with the City of Melbourne to help them improve lighting in laneways. Before working with us, they didn't know where to start. We are the only always available crowdsourcing platform for the prevention of gender-based violence in Australia. We've collected 15,000 stories so far, and we've generated $160,000 in revenue in the last financial year and $250,000 to date, working with local and state governments to provide them access to our data insights and gender expertise. This has allowed us to work with Transport for New South Wales to help make sure that women get home safely after dark, with City of Melbourne to improve lighting, with the Bicycle Network to prevent issues happening like the one I spoke to you about earlier. And we're currently working with Department of Transport Victoria on a $200,000 contract, providing them access to live data insights from across the public transport network. Our revenue streams have been project-based to date, but we've built a subscription-based live data insights dashboard, and we've established a 12-month contract with our first customer. Our dashboard will allow governments, universities, NGOs, and the private sector to access ongoing data insights that will help them solve gender-based violence issues. We expect revenues to grow $200,000 in the current financial year, and then 50% and 100% in the following 2 years. I have 6 years experience in gender and crowd mapping. I started Australia's first ever crowd mapping platform for street harassment and scaled it to 5 continents around the world. I'm also a researcher in gender and digital space. I'm backed by an incredible team who bring gender expertise, data science, and marketing prowess to tackling one of the most complex and pressing issues of our time. In the last 3 years, we've reached millions of people and we've built a trusted brand with our followers. We've supported thousands to share their story on our platform, an experience that they tell us is life-changing for them. We've been supported by Google, we've been sent to Silicon Valley and New York, we've been supported by She Starts, the FYA, the Boosting Female Founders Grant, Launch Vic, and many more. We've been listed on the Smart Company 30 list 2 years running and achieved so many accolades. We're so proud of building 2 incredible tech products that are preparing us to scale. But in order to scale, we need to raise $1.5 million. We're going to use this to grow our team. First, our team of marketers, and then our team of data scientists, before boosting our sales team. So we would welcome any introductions to government or those in corporate who you think are truly invested in helping us solve this problem. I've never underestimated the power of sharing your story. Being able to share mine makes me feel powerful and visible. And that's how I want every single woman in the world to be able to feel. So join the crowd and help us make every city safe for women. Thank you.
Wow, weren't those pictures fantastic? Such inspirational enterprises with so much potential. We would like to extend our sincerest thanks to Leonard Berry and the trustees of the Sidney Myer Fund for supporting the Social Impact Hub and this program so generously.
The Sidney Myer Fund is very proud to support this program. It's part of our strategy of grant making to grow the pipeline of investment-ready social enterprises in Australia. Scaling Impact plays a significant role in our commitment to impact investment. I wanted to say a quick word about how we support the program. We do that by way of multi-year general operating support, that being support that is provided to the Social Impact Hub on an untied basis. Our view at the Myer Foundation and Sidney Myer Fund is that we find values and mission aligned organisations, and we fund them in a way which allows them, the organisations, to make a choice as to the best deployment of those resources. Clearly, in the case of Social Impact Fund, an excellent choice is being made. So congratulations to the enterprises that have been selected for the second Scaling Impact cohort. They're great examples of the type of social innovation helping to address pressing social and environmental problems. It's a great pleasure to see the progress that each of the organisations have made through this program. I do have a sense that the time for social enterprises is upon us. An example of one being Higher-Up's $40 million recent capital raise is particularly buoying. My hope is that we will have in this year's cohort the next Higher-Up, perhaps the next two Higher-Ups. Enjoy Demo Day. Thank you.
Thanks, Leonard. Okay, let's jump straight back into the pitches.
I mentored an enterprise known as Project Rocket. Project Rocket's a youth-driven movement against bullying, and its focus was to empower young people to really be the leaders for change. About Rosie, who I mentored, she's inspiring, energetic and driven. About Project Rocket, it's an impactful organisation, it's empowering and it's resourceful.
Hi, I'm Lucy and this is my sister Rosie, and we're co-founders and CEOs of Project Rocket, Australia's youth-driven movement against bullying, hate and prejudice. We launched Project Rocket when we were fresh out of school, and we were sick and tired of seeing the way that bullying had destroyed the lives of so many of our peers, and felt like nobody was actually doing anything about it in a way that engaged young people. Now, bullying remains a massive issue that affects so many young Aussies still today. And the trauma, well, we know that it lasts long after school, with experiences linked to poor mental health, suicidal ideation, drug and alcohol abuse, crime and homelessness. But think about it. Do you remember someone from your school days who was horribly mistreated? It really stays with you. And that's why for the last 15 years, we've been training up passionate young leaders and sending them out into schools all over the country to run workshops that help young people challenge bullying instead of just standing by. Project Rocket is built on the simple vision of a world where kindness and respect thrive over bullying, hate and prejudice, and every young person is free to realise their potential. Through the lens of bullying, our workshops explore mental health, inclusion, respect, diversity, empathy and ethics, and we work with young people to come up with credible strategies to challenge bullying and build safe and respectful communities. Project Rocket was the first ever youth-led program to tackle cyberbullying, and now, well, today we've reached over 500,000 students in our face-to-face workshops alone.
Project Rocket's message is made a lot more powerful because it's made by young people for young people.
I feel like I'm more comfortable talking to other people and my friends about things I'm going through.
After completing their Project Rocket workshops, 96% of students felt confident that they had the skills to challenge cyberbullying, compared to only 49% in the general population. So to scale this impact, we created Project Rocket Online. Funded by Telstra, it allowed us to scale into regional and remote areas and support even more young Aussies who otherwise would have missed out. And in 2016, Google funded the creation of Project Rocket TV. Bite-sized episodes created by young people for young people. This blended approach has really deepened our impact, and it's also pushed Project Rocket out of reach of its competitors. The school incursion market is rapidly growing here in Australia and across the world. In Victoria, we've determined an addressable market to students is worth 6.3 million, and Australia-wide that market is worth 18.2 million. There's also huge demand for parent and educator resources and international markets. We've spent the last 15 years building a repeatable, scalable learning model, and we currently generate revenues from schools. So we deliver fee-for-service workshops to students in years 3 to 12, and our corporate partners who purchase our programs for schools in support of their CSR goals. We've attracted great talent and experience, a visionary leadership team that drives our sales, marketing, and program delivery. And of course, there are the stars of the show, our young Project Rocket presenters heading out into schools all over the country. We're backed by a board of directors and a global advisory group made up of business and community leaders such as anti-bullying advocate Monica Lewinsky. Our pre-COVID revenues exceeded $1 million per year and have averaged 48% annual growth in revenue between 2011 and 2019. We reached 70,000 students annually, have reached over 2,500 customers in total, procured over $3 million in corporate partnerships, including Facebook, Google, and Telstra, and have provided career-starting employment to over 60 young people. We are internationally a leading voice on cyber safety, serving on the global safety boards of social media platforms. In 2020, we were planning to dial up our national delivery with the appointment of an executive team, New South Wales hub, and new products for new markets. But COVID and lengthy lockdowns, especially in our hometown Melbourne, have caused us to pause and scale back our costs so that we can be here when schools return and the tsunami of demand hits. We are pursuing two exciting initiatives. First up, we've set up the Project Rocket Foundation with DGR1 status to allow us to support the most disadvantaged students in the low socioeconomic schools. And we'd love your contribution to this new initiative in the form of a philanthropic donation. The need really never has been greater. We're also working on a refined business model involving even more digital learning to service students, parents, and educators. We will be back in touch when we're ready to raise investment capital to achieve our national expansion plans. We know that young people need our help more than ever, and that's why we're seeking your support to build a world where kindness and respect thrive over bullying, hate, and prejudice, and every young person is free to realise their potential.
I've been so humbled by the opportunity to work alongside Nick and to get to know a bit more about his business, Community Construction. It is a social enterprise that provides employment for migrants in the construction sector, which is such a major contributor to the Australian economy. For that reason, I'm excited about what the future presents for Nick, Community Constructions, and most importantly, the employees of the business. All the best, Nick.
My name is Hidayat Dosyan, but in Australia people call me Nick. I am from Afghanistan and arrived here as a 17 years old in 2010. For more than 10 years, I have watched firsthand the challenge of new migrants who struggle to find jobs and the hardship in life they face as a result. Motivated by my desire to give back to the community that has given me so much at the same time, wanting to create new life for refugees who now call Australia home, I created Community Construction. Finding work is one of the highest priority for refugees in Australia. Most are eager to work and bring skills and experience. Yet, all too often, they find it difficult to get stable, secure, and fulfilling work. Do you know that after 18 months in the country, just 17% of refugees are in employment? While employment rates for refugees improve with time, we need to get more refugees into job quicker. Long-term welfare dependence, even if they are eligible, is debilitating for anyone. Be they a refugee, long-term citizen, or anyone else, we have to do better. We can do better. At Community Construction, we provide training, mentoring, internship, and employment opportunity to refugees. By supporting individuals to navigate, enter, and remain in the workforce long-term, we empower those who have sought refuge and asylum in Australia to start afresh, build new lives, and feel connected and welcome in Australia. We specialize in tiling, waterproofing, air conditioning, painting, and cleaning for commercial and residential projects, which is a 24 billion market in Australia. Using a cost-plus margin pricing model, since community construction was founded in 2017, we have completed over 130 projects, generated over 500,000 of annual revenue in the last financial year, with average gross margin of approximately 30% achieved to date. So far, we have trained and employed over 65 refugees, mentored an additional 20, and helped 65 gain industry-recognized Certificate 3 in tiling, painting, and other trades. What is more, 3 former employees have gone into independently set up their own businesses, something that we are very proud of. Community construction is founded, managed, and operated by refugee for refugee. I have studied extensively at the university and have worked with many organizations assisting refugees to establish new life in Australia. This contribution, along with my work with community construction, saw me receive the 2019 Humanitarian Award from STARS and the Refugee Council of Australia. My co-founder John is also a former refugee from Afghanistan who has over 25-year experience in the construction overseas and in Australia. We are supported by an incredible advisory group who help in different areas of business, including opening doors to so many pro bono advisors and corporate connections. While our long-term plan is to raise investment capital to expand community construction management team and geographical reach beyond New South Wales, our work in the Scaling Impact program has indicated that we are not quite ready for impact investment. Our business has also been considerably affected by COVID in recent months, and personally as an Afghan, the last few months have been very stressful. So for now, we would welcome philanthropic contribution to help fund our ability to help refugee and migrant through training and mentorship. Each 50,000 would allow us to strengthen our cleaning services offered by training, equipment, and employing 15 refugee women. We would also love introduction to construction, tiling, and pelt supply company to grow our business and allows us to provide jobs to refugees seeking employment. We are also keen to meet any property developers, government organization, firm in the built environment space, or private homeowners who are looking to build or renovate. Employment is an essential part of refugee becoming self-reliant, building a future for themselves and their families, and contributing to society that has given them freedom and safety. Believe me, I know. At Community Construction, we want to provide training and employment to 500 refugees and people seeking asylum by 2025. So join us, and together we can play a vital role in supporting refugees into a safe and productive future in their new home, Australia.
Hi, I'm Michael Rafferty from EY's People Advisory Service. It's my great pleasure to introduce Sally Quinn from Green Collect. Green Collect is a not-for-profit social enterprise which is committed to environmental sustainability through the collection of waste from businesses, but also to social change from the employment of people who are otherwise socially disadvantaged. Sally's a remarkable person, a pioneer in social entrepreneurship. I give you Sally Quinn.
Hi, I'm Sally Quinn, co-founder and CEO of Green Collect. I started my career in social work, working with women living in crisis housing in St Kilda. With social housing waiting lists of 5 to 10 years, the only real housing option they saw was the private rental market. But to access it, they needed a job. The problem was, without a fixed address, it was almost impossible to get a job. After 2 years of working in this system, I started to see that employment was the underused lever in addressing homelessness. This led to my partner Darren and I deciding to create employment opportunities that would enable people to move out of homelessness on their own terms. People lack access to work when it is actually needed most, when facing homelessness or the impact of refugee experiences. We were also distressed by the millions of tonnes of waste going to landfill unnecessarily and the damage being done to our land and waterways. At Green Collect, we create new jobs for people who need them most, namely at-risk youth and people from homeless and refugee backgrounds. And we save waste items from landfill, getting them back into use. We provide waste collection services for households and over 300 businesses each year. These items are transported to our Resource Recovery Centre, to be processed for reuse and remanufacturing. We then sell these items back to businesses and consumers online and via our 2 shops. We have 3 main sources of trading revenue from corporate, state and local government clients. These include income from fees for collection and processing, sale of items through retail channels and payment for education, training and support programs. Currently, 80% of our revenues are generated through these streams, with the remainder achieved through grants. We aim and are on track to achieve a break-even position in 2023. Over our 15 years of operations, we've established a very strong customer base, including annual recurring revenues from over 20 ongoing contracts worth over $400,000. Our total revenues as at June 2021 were $1.9 million. We have large corporate clients such as Westpac, Wesfarmers and John Holland, with contract sizes of $30,000 to $40,000. Green Collect has strong visibility and brand recognition in the resource recovery and social enterprise sectors. We have won numerous awards, including Social Enterprise of the Year, and received extensive media coverage. Since embarking on a plan to scale in 2017, we've successfully doubled our revenue growth and proven our business model. We plan to double revenue again over the next 2 years and have formed a strategic growth partnership with Whitebox Enterprises and key client partners such as Charter Hall and the Westpac Foundation. We currently employ 40 people and to date have created over 100 jobs, paying over $1 million in wages to people from highly disadvantaged backgrounds. In addition, we've delivered 60 training pathways that have enabled people to achieve their employment goals through wraparound support and coaching. We've diverted over 1 million items from landfill in the last 3 years, and cumulatively, we've saved over 1,500 tonnes of resources from landfill and reduced carbon emissions by over 5 million kilos. Green Collect's team is comprised of highly qualified and skilled senior leaders who care deeply about people and planet. We're dedicated to using our experience and know-how to build a thriving and impactful enterprise. We are currently seeking to raise $600,000 in debt and/or grant finance. We will use these funds to double our footprint and fit out our newly acquired site. It will allow us to ramp up our sales and marketing and to resource further key roles. In doing this, we will double our impact in 3 years. We will create 90 new jobs and training for young people at risk and people from refugee and homelessness backgrounds, and save over 1,000 tonnes of resources from landfill. We are primed and ready for Green Collect's next phase of growth. We invite you to join us for this unique and meaningful opportunity as we strive to realise our vision for a future where all people and resources are valued and respected.
Hi, I'm Adam Long, one of the experts in residence for strategy at the Social Impact Hub, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the Equality Institute, led by the absolutely incredible Dr. Emma Fulu, who started with a mission of ending violence against women and girls and has turned that into an incredible consultancy and tech company that's working with governments, United Nations, and now businesses all over the world. I'm so excited for this one. Over to you.
I come from a diverse family, a beautiful mix of races, religions, ethnicities, sexual orientations and more. And within my family that was celebrated. But outside in the real world, well, that was a different story. I was just 9 years old when my father would come and have lunch with me at school because I was experiencing daily racism. And as I grew up, sexual harassment, family violence and sexism were all too common. But for as long as I can remember, I've been driven to change that story. My name is Dr. Emma Fulu, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Equality Institute. We're a global social enterprise working to advance gender equality and end violence against women and girls. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that my story is not unique. Violence against women and girls is one of the biggest issues facing Australia today. 1 in 3 women will experience physical or sexual violence in their lifetime, and that costs the Australian economy $22.2 billion a year. And despite the best efforts of governments and individuals, we've seen no significant dent in those numbers. because of a lack of technical expertise and cookie-cutter approaches to training that don't change behaviour. But that's where we come in. We help organisations deliver holistic solutions that drive real change. Our customers are the world's leading organisations because we're the world's leading experts.
Organisations like UN Women work with the Equality Institute because they're global experts in the field of ending violence against women and girls. They're passionate and values-driven, and they have a unique ability to bring together creative communications, data and evidence to influence policy and practice at national, regional, and international levels.
We've worked in over 30 countries and conducted 50 studies around the world to understand what drives violence and how to prevent it. We work with governments to develop best practice policies and with grassroots organisations and our thriving online community to drive social change. We're already a high growth company with $1.9 million of run rate revenue in financial year 21-22 and a 15% profit margin. But with Me Too and Black Lives Matter, demand for our services has only grown. Companies know now that they must do more to create cultures of safety, inclusion and belonging. So to grow our impact and revenue, we're expanding into the corporate market and adding a suite of innovative e-learning products to our services. This will enable us to reach millions of Australians employed in medium and large companies, scale globally in a COVID reality, and generate recurring revenues. We're already attracting leading businesses because gender equality isn't just part of what we do, it's everything that we do.
We started working with Dr. Emma Filliou and the Equality Institute about 15 months ago as we were looking to partner with global experts that could really help us build impactful and meaningful change in the inclusion and diversity space. Obviously, the Equality Institute, they've got loads of experience, and we've been able to leverage that experience and also their incredible research to create some really fantastic solutions, particularly in the comms and the education space.
Our online courses and mentorship are changing the game. Through inspiring and evidence-based content, from podcasts to meditation, animation and gamification, we transform learning into action. We expect to grow our current services at 30% per year, adding online learning sales and a minimum of 5 new corporate clients per year. We estimate 6.7 million annual revenue by 2025. We know we can deliver this with our passionate team of 15 staff, strong brand and reputation, international reach, and experience developing high-end digital platforms. We're currently developing our unique learning content and signing up our first few customers to validate the market. Then we'll come back to raise impact investment to scale further. In the meantime, we'd love your support in connecting us with corporates who could benefit from our services. Help us build a world in which diversity is celebrated, all people are respected, and power and resources are shared equally. Then I can go back and tell that little girl, my younger self, that we did manage to change her story, and not just for her, but for all of us.
Wow, wasn't that awesome? Well done to all the enterprises that pitched. You did a fantastic job. Now it is your opportunity to meet the founders in their virtual booths. Simply click Expo on the left-hand side of your screen. On behalf of the whole team at the Social Impact Hub, thank you again for joining us, and we hope you have enjoyed this incredible lineup of social enterprise pitches. Thanks again, and enjoy chatting to the enterprises in the booths, and let us know if you'd like to connect with them individually afterwards. Thank you.